LinkedIn. So please try and follow up. If it's something you are really serious about, I really don't mind attending to just one person. Um, I don't think I'm so it's not like I'm being paid for it. It's not any thing of sponsorship or so. I was basically bored and wanted to do this. It's been a while, so I'm literally not even doing it for glory. I'm basically, yeah, I was bored and
Okay.
felt like, I should do it, and I decided to do that. So a recap of what we discussed last week. Um, um, so I sent out an installation video link, the tools you need. You need a Python software as well as a text editor or a code editor. There is Atom, there is Microsoft VS Code, there is you can use Anaconda if you want, depending on. Then there is this other one I keep forgetting. So there are different text editors. If you don't mind me ask, what exactly is your familiarity with Python? You know, I'd like to know, or at least any kind of coding.
Oh, okay. I've been actually taking introductory part of it on data camp, and more like doing it at my own pace. But I felt like it would be better if I have an instructor. So that was actually what drives my interest
Okay, in
coming
fact,
here.
so it means that you are mostly familiar with all of these things I'm about to discuss today, or at least you must have come across it. So after that, we discussed some of the data types. We have integer, float, string for text, um, uh, boolean values, whether that's something that is true and false. We also talked about a variable, and we said a variable can be a variable is like a chameleon. It can change, and you can assign it any data type. You can assign it any of these uh, five data types if you want. So I consider it a data type because it's something that can carry um, any of these. You can assign it to any of these data types, and using an assignment operator which is equal to. So in the idea of mathematics, right? If you are using this equal to sign, you are comparing something with another. You are saying something in the left hand side is equal to what is in the right hand side. Anytime you see what is in the left hand side, give you can as well replace it with what is in the right hand side. Do you understand?
Yes,
Um,
sir.
so
Yes.
that's why they call it an assignment operator. It doesn't necessarily mean that. So if you want to compare, do like a comparison. Um, say 2 is 2 equal to 2 basically is the whole number or the integer in the case of Python 2 is equal to 2, you do a double equal sign. This is a comparison. But if I'm saying 2 is equal to 2, I'm saying I'm assigning the value of 2 to this 2 here. That's what I mean. So anywhere you see this 2, give this. So if I say a equal to 2, I'm assigning the value of 2 to a. And a in this case is a variable because why it is why it's a variable is that a can still take 3, it can still take 4, and so on. Does that make sense? And so that's why it is a variable. It changes like chameleon. So we discussed the data types as being whole numbers, and whole numbers are positive, negative, inclusive of zero, and we said in Python programming it is considered integer. Integer is like the standard syntax or instruction for whole number. Decimal, um, float is the standard instruction for decimal in Python. String is used to represent anything that is text, and you use a single or double quotation for it. And true or false, these are boolean, anything that is one or the other. So basically, true or false, these are boolean. So we did some display of variables. We also did some display of a string and a decimal value or a float. And we also check the type of this variable, because everything in Python has a type. You understand? A data type, basically. And so we did that. And we also so the theme of our conversation today is around data structure. Now, the reason why I classify all of these as data type and data structure is because of how I learned Python. And
Sorry, sir. Is it recorded, sir?
yes, it is recorded. So
Okay, thank
the reason why it's how I learned Python. And so in some Python tutorials they will tell you what I'm about to say, data structure is still considered data types. It's fine, and that's because of the way Python is, but I like to differentiate them a little. And so data structure, so basically this data structure is a way of storing information. I don't know if you get. And so you can either store them as a list, tuple, a set, or a dictionary. At least in Python programming basics. It can be more complex than this, but in Python programming basics. But sometimes, or in tutorials you see nowadays, they will consider all of these as data types together with what I just mentioned. These 5 data types we already have here, and it's well within their right to say that. Now, so today we'll be talking about these 3 data structures or 4 data structures. We have the list, we have a tuple, we have a set, and a dictionary. And so for me to represent a list, I have to call one of the data types, which is this variable. And a variable can be anything, your names. For I can say Kelechi can be my variable, and I'll assign it equal to a list. Now I'll say I'll assign it, which is the assignment operator, then equal a list is a data structure that you start and end with a square bracket. Now this can contain, it contains what they call items or members. A list item, everything inside followed by a comma. Now it can take any of the data types we mentioned. So you can take 1, which is an integer, a whole number. We can take 2.2, then comma, that's another item. So we have 2 items now. It can take true, which is a boolean. It can take false, which is another boolean. It can also take a string or a text, which in this case I'll say it is Kelechi. Do you understand? I'm very sure you understand these concepts.
Yeah,
So yeah,
I do.
so and if I want to check the data type of Kelechi, which is a list, I can do that. How do I do that? I'm going to comment on this. I'll also comment on this as well. So what I will just do is to just print, and I would say type Kelechi. And so basically I'm saying what is the data type of this variable. Sorry, please just, so I mentioned that so if I want to check the type of this variable, I can do that. And so what I'm just going to do is to comment every other thing here, or okay, so you know what, I'll just take this elsewhere. I'm saving this. I will open um another terminal, and I'll just say I would give it a name called let's say data underscore structure dot I, and I can then paste what I want to paste here. And so I'm going to save. Now anytime you create a file and you enter something, you see this up here is white, so I always save. By the time you save, it disappears. And so now I'm going to run it. If I want to run it, I would open my terminal. As one of the things I like about VS Code is the access to terminal. And so I can then say Py or Python. I'm telling it an instruction that run. I'm going to run a Python file. So please just so Python. Then I'll call the name of the file. In this case, I would say data underscore structure dot py, and when I run it, you see I have a type called int, a type called list. And so which is this is one of the reasons why you consider a list, tuple, set, and dictionary a data type as well. So but I like to keep them as structure. One of the things about lists, all of these structures have characteristics, attributes, what they can do, what their characteristics looks like. So one of these characteristics of a list is that if I want, no, it's not the characteristics anyways. But what I can do here is, like I said, each of all of these items are members of this particular list, and each of them takes a position. So this is position 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. But Python, unfortunately, doesn't work like that. It actually starts from if you want to start doing any counting in Python, especially in a list or any of these data structures, you start from 0. But this is position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And so I can call any member of this list. So I can actually call them out. And if I want to do that, I would say, let me print one of the items. So let's say I want to print the third item, which is true, boolean. That's this boolean value, true. I would say, I'll call the name of my variable, right? And I'll put a square bracket, and I'll say, so this is position 1, 2, 3, well 0, 1, 2. So I'll just put 2 here, and if I save it, I run it on my terminal, you can see that it is showing me 2. And I can check each of these, despite the fact that this list is the data type or has the data structure of list. I can find out the data types of each and every member in a list. So what I will just do is say I'll just say type, and I'll paste the item I want to find out the data type for. I'll run it, and you can see it's under the class boolean. So basically this is boolean bool. And if I want to print that of the last member, I will just say this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll just say 4, right? And you can see it is a string. Or if I want, I can call it from, so this is counting from left to right. I can also count from right to left, and if I want to count from right to left, I would start with -1 and so on. So I'll just say -1, I'm saving it, and I'll end up printing the same thing. And so it starts from -1, -2, 3, 4, 5. So if I say -5, for instance, um, I don't need the type for this. I want to call out just the value of that position. And you can see, so it's obviously 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, sorry, so I'm supposed to say -5 here. I'm going to save it. I'll run it again, and you can see it is calling the value 1. So you can either start from left hand side by saying 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can start from the right hand side by saying -1, -2, -3, -4, and -5. Any questions before we move on?
No, it's clear. It's clear.
Okay, so no questions then. So now, so I was mentioning the characteristics of a list. One of the characteristics of a list is that I can change any of my values of this list here. So I can actually change it, and it is changeable. That's one of the characteristics. So changeable, and there's a word they use for it. But I would like to. So for me, I really don't. I like the simplicity of things, and um, I do not like to use a lot of terminologies because I didn't learn it that way. I like to understand things in the basic of terms. If I tell you the last time I taught a Python code, maybe it's up to like a month or 2 months now. So because and the reason I'm able to keep them to memory, they say if you don't practice like that, I practiced it for a very long time. I looked for the simplest way to actually learn it. So back to the characteristics. So one of it is changeable. The items are changeable. So items in a list are changeable. So you can change them. That's a characteristic. If I want to change it, how do I do that? I will just refer it. Since every item has a position in the list, I will just call the name of the position and assign it something. So I can say Kelechi, and I'll say position. Let's say I want to change the true and false, right? I can say position true is where true is 2, right? So start from 0. I will assign it to maybe let's see, maybe a list.
The true
Sorry.
the true value is in position 3 when you're counting from the left.
No, this is position 3, but like I said, it starts from 0, and so it will be 0 1. Yeah. So I will just change it to a string, and I will just say let's say house. I want to store the value of house. Now if I say print the list, print Kelechi, that's the list itself, you will see the new value of true, the position where true is. So you can see that instead of it to say true, I've replaced it with house, and it is now telling me that that is house. Does that make sense? So it is changeable, right? The positions, the other characteristics is that the positions are actually fixed. I think the positions are fixed. You can't change them. I mean, the positions of 0, 1, 2, 3. You can change the values, but you can't change the position. The third characteristic, if I remember correctly, is that you can they call them subscriptive. You can actually call each of these positions, and it's going to give you a value. So I think that's the third characteristics. I think there are about 4 of them. But once I move on, I remember. The next thing I can actually do is if you can change it, you can call its position. Um, what can you do again? Also, you can actually store a list inside a list. So let's say, for instance, I want to store a list in Kelechi's list, and so I can say position 3. I want to store a list of P that is a string or a text and 2. Let's say 2.5 that is a decimal. I'm going to save it, and if I print, you can see that I have a list inside the list. And if I want to check the data type of my position 3, if I say print, which is to display, I'll say type, and I'll say Kelechi, and I'll say position 3. I'll save it, and you can see. So I have print 1, 2. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the 8th print display here would be what I just did. So you can see a class of list. And so, like I said, which is why they consider these data types as well, because it has a type basically. If I want to delete a value, I can actually do that in my list. So I could do I could say a print. If I want to delete a list, a value, I'll say Kelechi dot, I'll say pop, and let's say I want to remove the value of the third position. I can say pop, and I'll just call Kelechi inside and call the value of the third position, and if I run it, okay, say the list cannot be sorry, list object cannot be interpreted as integer. Oh, sorry. Oh, so if I leave the pop, I can actually call what I want to remove here, and so I can say pop 3, for instance, save it, run it, and you can see it has removed the 2 and 2.5. And if I then say, let me print my current list, after deleting, you can see it has removed this list I put in the first place. You can see the list I put in the this is what it is, and now when I say up to, whatever you are putting, the number you are putting there is the position of each item there. So for position 3, it's now a list, and if I say top 3, it is going to do that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Any questions?
It does. When you said print pop 3, it went to delete the list in list that you created initially, where you added
Yes.
Kelechi 3 equals to 2 and 2.5.
Yes.
Okay.
So because the reason why I'm printing it out, if I wanted to, so again, if you want to delete, you use the pop and you call the position of the item you actually want to delete. So it takes an integer. So 0 is here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now because I already changed the position of 3 from false to this list, I put 3 here, it deleted the list itself. Does that make sense? So if I say pop 0 and save it, and I run my this thing, and you can see that it actually removed this item one. I just say you should just print what it deleted, and which is the one you see here. You can see that it has now removed the one that was initially there before and left my list. Does that make sense? So if you use pop, you use to delete any value using their position. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, cool. I can also add if I want. So if I want to add a value, um, sorry. So if I want to add a value, I can say I'll use the sorry, I don't even know why they don't mention this. This pop is what they call a method. It's an attribute that a list can actually perform. So if I want to call it, I will just call the name of the list and I'll say dot, then I'll call the attribute. So sorry about that, or the method. Now there's another method called append, and what it does is it's going to add, I can add a new item to this list, not change now. You know, I change, I deleted, now I can add a new item. And if I want to add a new item, um, I'll use the append method. Um, so basically, method are things that a particular thing can actually perform. So in this case, a list. So if you just give me a moment. So the method I can use for it is it's like an attribute that list has append. So when I say print, again this is just for me to display. I would say Kelechi the list. I'll say dot append, and I would say append maybe this is a list, and append is a method. So this is a string basically, and if I then print Kelechi now, you can then see that it is going to add this particular string to whatever the last item is. This append, whatever I'm appending will now be the latest new last item. I don't know if that makes sense.
Hmm. Yes, yes, it does. It does.
So I can decide to append a list if I want. I could append multiple things, I think. Let me see, two. I don't know if this will work, but I think it should. Oh, it can only take one argument, so I can only append one thing at a time. However, if I have a second list, say B, and I say this is a list, this is 2. I don't know why I'm using 2 a lot. 5.6. I can do either of two things. I could say print Kelechi dot append, and I'll mention the second list B. And once I do that, you would see that it's going to add so no, it's not supposed to be. Oh, sorry. Apologies for this. I'm supposed to print the new list. After that, okay, so it has added it but as a new list. So it's adding B as a list. But if I truly want to add each of these items here, what I can do is to say I can use a math operator called plus. I would say, and I would say a new variable maybe called C equal to Kelechi, which is a list, plus I would say plus B. And then if I want to print it out, that's my new list. I would I can then do that, and you can see that um, okay, so um, this is the append. It appended it as a list, and now it has added the value of this list to um, together with Kelechi as a new list. So you can see 210 and 5.6. So you can tell the difference between what append is going to do, and if you just use the mathematical operator called plus. It's not going to do any kind of addition. It will just add it to the whatever the last item is. It's just going to add it, and it's in sequence. Does that make sense? If I so wanted, instead of me to use
So
sorry,
if
yeah, ask your
okay,
question.
now in when you created the list, when you created the list B and you inserted the integers 2, 10, and 5.6, now your print value says it should print Kelechi and add the new list to Kelechi,
Yeah,
then print Kelechi, which means it is adding the new list, which is B, to the already existing
everything.
list, which is Kelechi, right?
Yes,
Right?
yes.
Okay, now when you went to the other mathematical operator saying C equals Kelechi plus B, it is going to print, it is supposed to print only the list C. That's where I'm kind of lost.
Okay, so yeah, it will print. So basically, I've added Kelechi that is all of this from here to here. And you can see the list now, the new list. This was the new list when I did this append. Now when I did math operator, this is the new list. You understand? So it printed everything plus whatever the value of B is. Everything inside B. Does that make sense?
Okay,
Can you
okay,
see where Kelechi dot append B? Look at the value it provided. Now I'm saying that whatever this new value is, add it to B or add B to it. Do you understand? And so this is the new value of Kelechi.
yes,
And I'm now saying add every item inside B to Kelechi, and you can see it added 2, 10, and 5.6. If I so wanted, I would just say
okay,
I want the new value of Kelechi to be Kelechi plus B. And if I say Kelechi as a variable, if I still printed it, it will still give me the same thing. Like I said, variables are like chameleon. They change colors, you can change them. So I can still assign Kelechi is equal to Kelechi plus B. But I decided to use C because I didn't want to put any kind of confusion. Does that make sense? So it's the same thing if I say Z. The same thing
yes,
Z is the same thing if I, call anything. It doesn't really matter. But what I was just trying to show you is the difference between this method append and this math operator. What they do. The append we add the B as a list. The math operator we add both lists as a combination, and everything will be an item inside the new list you are doing this combination on. It's just like okay, 2 apple plus 5 apple basically is
okay,
7 apples. Do you understand? So this is more or less like a banana. 2 apple plus
yes,
1 banana is still 2 apple plus 1 banana basically. But if I say 2 apple plus 5 apples, it will give me 7. So that's basically the plus. The append is,
okay,
you get what I'm saying.
yes,
You understood? I hope there's no confusion.
it is. I'll still definitely go back to it after, go back to the video after, I guess.
Okay, no problem. But please ask your questions. You are the only one here. You can ask as you want. For me, there is no stupid question. There's only a relevant question. Just ask me questions that are relevant. Don't ask. You can ask any kind of stupid question. I'm good.
Okay, so
Okay, um, so what can I remember of the list? Okay, I'll just move on to the next data type or data structure called tuple. And so tuple and set are usually not the ideal, they don't usually use it as such. I think the most famous are list and dictionary, but I'll just show you some of them. Now, a tuple, right? You represent a tuple still using a variable. I think I should just rename this to be, I'll rename this to be list. I would say this is tuple. So a tuple is also represented using a variable. So I can say A is equal to is you assign it to a tuple, and you do tuple by using uh, sorry you by using normal brackets. Now you can call any item inside it. So I can say each item is a member of that particular tuple. The same thing with list. I can say one, I can say two, I can say one, I can say two, I can say three. Oh, the other characteristics of a list is that it can take duplicate items. So you can duplicate an item, it doesn't really care. Now, once I save this and I want to print the type of A, if I do this, I run my new file, which is the tuple file. I run it, and you can see it's showing me a class of tuple. Sorry, but if I want to print the file itself, I want to display the file itself. Let me do that. It might give me an error. It didn't give me an error, right? So I can actually display it and it works fine. So a characteristics of a tuple, one of the characteristics is it can take duplicate values. It can also take duplicate values.
Okay, it can also take duplicate values just like a list.
Just like a list. So I forgot that in my it. I kind of tend to remember some of the characteristics if I go on.
Okay.
So it can take duplicate value, as you can see it printed the value. So another characteristics, let me see. I don't know if it is subscript. If you can call any item. So let's say I want to call the third item, which is again, if you want to count is 0 position 1 2 3 4 5 6, right? So the third item, so I'll say print A. I'll say the third item, which is 2, right? And if I do that, I get 1. I get 1, which is this here. So it means that I can. It is we call it. So you can call any item. You can call I think they call it subscriptability. You can call any item in a tuple. So they call it this subscriptable. I don't know the characteristics. Then I don't know. Let me check if I can change. Now if I say A position 2, which is 1, equal to I,
which is a string now.
Which is a string now, and I'll now say print A. Maybe that's print the tuple A. I get an error. So you cannot. A tuple does not support. You can't change the values. So it is not item in tuples. Tuples are not changing. Unlike a list that is number. I think it also have about 4 characteristics as well. I provided a link. I will share the video for you to.
Okay.
I'll share it again for you guys to go through. It has some of the characteristics there that you can actually go through. So by the goal of this is not to teach you everything. The goal of this is just to show you the ropes, and you should be able to navigate it yourself. So can I delete? Let's see. We cannot change. Let's say we can delete. So we can use the a pop, and let's say the pop works. And let's say I want to delete the last. Let's say I want to delete one here. I'll say a pop position up, and I'll say print a. Let's see what errors it will give me. So, oh, I forgot that you cannot. Okay, so let me. It's one of the reasons why I don't like I don't mind using Anaconda for this. Sorry.
Okay, but if you you don't like using Anaconda for this.
I like using Anaconda for this. Sorry. Sorry. I think that's the word I was supposed to use. I like to use Anaconda for this. So in okay, so they call the characteristics here. They said the terminology for it is this is immutable. You cannot change after they are created. So it means that you cannot add, remove, or modify. So basically, it's cannot add, remove, or modify. So I can't do the top. I can't do the pop, append. Neither can I use plus. But there's a workaround though. You can convert data types. So I can convert this to a list, do what I want to do, and convert it back to a tuple. I don't know if that makes sense.
It does. Let's try it.
So if I want, I would say let B. If I want to do a conversion now, I have to call the data type, and there is a method for converting data types, and it depends on the data type I want to convert it to. So I'll say list, and I'll say A. So basically what I've done is to convert A to a list, and I've assigned it to B. What can I then do? I'll say B.pop 0, right? And I'll say C equal to tuple. I want to convert B back, right? Tuple, then I'll say B. So basically I've converted the tuple to a list and back to a tuple. And I'll now say print C. Guess what's going to happen? Number one will no more be the guy there. I'm not going to. I'm going to. It's one of the reasons why I like Anaconda for this. So you can see that number one that was there before is no more there again.
It's no longer there, yes.
And so you can apply every other thing you want to do to a tuple by converting it to a list, do whatever you want to do, and changing it back to a tuple. It allows for it. You get it? And so you can also change data types.
Yes, sir.
As well so if I want, I can change a particular data type from one data type to the other. So you can change a decimal, that's a float, to an integer, from an integer to a string, and back and forth. I think you can also change a boolean to, you know what? I think you can also change a boolean to. That's interesting. Let me see. So I have a variable called true, which is the boolean. Let me see if I can change it to. So I'll say d equal integer then d. So basically, I'm saying that convert true to integer. Then I want to put the, I think it might show me 1. I'm curious. Yeah, so, and that's because boolean are zeros and 1. True for 1, false for 0. I, yeah. You can change default data types.
But the thing is that this boolean value is not in our tuple
No, no,
list.
no, no. I was talking about data types. Again, we went back to our initial data types. Let's see. Let me see.
Yeah, I know where you have the data
Yeah,
type.
so
Let me
yeah,
see.
I was saying that you can also do change data types. It's not just for the data structures. Again, it is me that is calling the data structure, or they will still tell you that these are all data types as well. Does that make sense? I just,
Yes, it does.
again, it's just the way I learned Python, but it's fine. You don't have to use this. So the way you can actually change this, um, um, so the way you can actually change this, you can also do it for data types as well. Make sense? Um,
Yes, yes.
so I was just trying to test. What I just wanted to test out for was the boolean. If you can actually change them to integer and stuff. You can change them to integer, and I think you can also change them to float as well. I'm going to save it, and so yeah, so it will give you 1.0. In terms of data type, 1.0 is not the same thing as 1. 1 is an integer, a whole number. 1.0 um, is a float or a decimal. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So let me see, how many minutes do we have left? We have about 7 more minutes. What I can ask you to do for me as a as a classwork or so is to look at set the characteristics of set. You know what? Let's do set. I think we have, let me see how many minutes. So we have 10 more minutes. So let's just see. I set so set is considered something like this. So if I say print and I say set, I'll put a curly braces and each and every item 22. Now, one of the characteristics of a set is it does not accept duplicate values. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Because if I print it now, you can see it showed me 1, 2, 3, 4, and 22. It removes this 1, it removes this 22. Unfortunately, you cannot call any items in this set. It's a very useless. What it is useful. I know it's useless, but it's a useless data. It's a very useless data type or data structure. It's very useless. I use it to remove duplicate values when you can cancel item. Now, if I want to call any item there, you cannot, it is not subscripted. You can see one, it's I think it's not going to give me anything. It will show me an error. So it's not subscripted. So it's not subscripted. So I can't call any of the numbers there. That's one of the characteristics. So if it's not subscriptable, it is immutable as well. Let me see. Let me just quickly browse characteristics of. Again, I really do not know all of these things off hard. I didn't memorize them. Okay, so it said it is oh, okay. Again, I will advise you to go and build on the characteristics. You cannot, well, of this the data structure, the list, the tuple, the set, and dictionary. Yeah, So please read me on your. It is really important that you do, because I really will not come back again. The person that will not watch this is on their own. Really. Like I said, it's people have to put in the work. So part of the work is to watch videos and do the assignments. The idea behind the rest of the SQL session, you can see that we are teaching. We've not really gone far in SQL. I don't know if you've watched the previous video. It was meant to start from scratch, but we have gone far in SQL, but we are beginning to implement something with it, like a project. So the goal behind learning Python is not to learn Python and move on. No. It's to see why Python is relevant to whatever it is you are interested in Python for.
Yes.
So it's not the way I'm actually teaching this stuff is not what you find ordinarily in a lot of these inclusive of data camp. Like
Exactly, that's true.
I am not again. I have spent so much time trying to use tools to implement stuff. I do not like to waste my time. Now, times when I used to I learn a tool because I want to use it to do something. So the idea is I knew of Python in 2010. I was in 300 level. Let's see. I was in 300 level when I knew about Python. I didn't see the use because I don't learn this programming language for. I learned Java around that time. I never see some use. But later I started seeing the use of all of these things. And that's because at the point in time I wanted to implement something, I was looking for the easiest tool, and I saw Python, I want to go and learn it, and I now use it to be like, it's better than using SQL for this. You understand? Or SQL is better than using Excel for, and things like that. So the goal of me actually, it's not to waste our time, really, is to use this to implement stuff. While this might not be like SQL in the sense that as you are learning you can implement, is that you need certain fundamentals to be able to implement anything. But I intend to use the same style as we are learning. We do some, we play around like even in the task it will be interesting and something that you crack your head for. Then by the time we have built the fundamentals, then we start applying it to real life stuff, real life stuff. And I would implement. Hopefully, I intend to do both data analytics and web development using Python.
Wow.
So I so that you guys can. So I will just do a little of it. Anybody that wants to continue, then I don't know. It depends on that. But this is where I intend to take everyone to.
Okay.
So you are doing. My hope is that by the time you are done with this, you are good. You do not have any issues understanding the fundamental, and at least you have some. Oh, so you can even use Python to drive a car. Yay! You start looking for how you are going to drive a car. So that's just the idea. So if you don't put in the work, then I cannot again. I basically will not waste my time sourcing the horse to drink water even if I wanted to. So the only thing I can do is just to take it there, take it to where to drink water or deliver. That I can right. But frankly, I would not waste my time trying to force anybody to do anything. If that makes sense. So please, I advise you to watch from the beginning. I really have a lot to do, but I don't know. I hope I have the time to as well. I must tell you that I am really not. I think I should end this session. I'll stop recording. I'm really not happy that you are the only one here, but at least I'm ready to show. It's fine. If there was nobody I would have recorded it. Apparently, in my head, I was even thinking maybe I should just close the Python video because I have to wait for something. I'm sure we joined the first time, but I didn't want to start the meeting on time so that our time can extend to the 1 hour. Then once you join, it will start from wherever you are. So depending when I set up my teams, when I'm done my teams, we can have meetings for a longer period of time. So I'll stop recording. So at least a lot of people would have gotten some of the messages I wanted to pass